Hey guys, this is WhatiF here. It's time to talk about a couple of different things that came out today. I wasn't expecting anything today. I thought maybe, I don't know, Thursday, tomorrow? I don't know what I was thinking, but it's here. So there's a couple different things to talk about. So first off, the first one is the expansion trailer that was posted on Twitter, and then the YouTube. I have the music muted, so we'll just kind of go through this and break everything down. So we knew this was coming this month, just we didn't know when. I was thinking probably later this month or maybe possibly next week, but it's apparently not. It said at the end of this here it'll be like October 6th, so it's actually later than what was originally planned. So the roadmap was not accurate, so that's funny. So obviously, first shots at Darlington, nothing really note here. This is interesting. Wasn't sure what they were going to do with this, if they were going to actually add in the 2022 track, because people forget Owl Club was on the schedule in 2021. So, yeah, it's there. That's good. So that means any other added tracks like WWT or Gateway will be in this expansion thing as well. Which it should, because it is part of the real life schedule, so it should be there. So this shot here kind of paints that picture pretty clearly, so that's good. I mean, it looks fine, but again, we've been tricked before where, it's like, oh, graphically it looks pretty good, but gameplay is probably going to be still awful. This is weird. I don't know why the shot's in this, because this, even if you can go through the garage area, this is not a place your car can realistically get to, so I don't know why this shot is here, unless it's part of a new like cinematic thing, because they mentioned in a different thing that in the Q&A, not Q&A, but like Alex Hayden has like new lines, so maybe in like the cinematic when he's talking about different stuff when they're at Daytona, this is like one of the images they're going to use, which that's fine. I mean, that's my only explanation or other possibility why the shot's here. But yeah, it looked good graphically. I don't know what else to say, but that's not gonna save this game. So we got this here, which I believe is Road America still. Another shot of Daytona, which I believe is almost the same shot as the original. It's what we came to do thing, where they always have this shot at the beginning. So then we get cars at Daytona with the 2022 ones, which trains, that's the first thing I kind of noticed. One thing I'm definitely 100,000% positive on is I'm not expecting the AI to be any different. I'm really not. This already kind of shows it without saying anything. It's like, hey, it's still going to be the same atrocious AI, and it's going to be train racing, because the two different lanes is kind of going the same way. And then we'll see another shot at Daytona. I think it's this shot here with Larson, like all trains. So I'm not expecting anything different with the AI. That's all. But what is very interesting is we got mirrors. Hallelujah! It took a magic has occurred where I don't even know if I'm even seeing this right. We got the normal mirror and then the dash mirror. So hooray to that! Thank God. I mean, that's good. That's what's there in real life. The only problem is when you go to like the chase cam, it's not there. So apparently that's still just impossible, even though they're able to do this here. And even the mirror graphic quality, you'll be able to see in different shots. I don't know what shot it is, but in different shots, the mirror looks, I mean, graphically, it's not like amazing. So it's like, well, why can't they just take that and put it into the chase cam? But if we're going on their bullshit excuse of the authenticity avenue, then that's not realistic. Even though in the normal dash cam, you're going to see later they have tire and fuel gauges. So apparently race car drivers just have like a third eye that the logic of all this is so flawed in the authenticity avenue that doesn't make any goddamn sense. But yeah, I know I'm jumping ahead way too much, but I get the cars going around Auto Club. That's cute. road course. Yeah, Bristol, Gen 7 cars. It looks fine. More Auto Club, more training, which is gross. This is the other big, huge, massive thing, free to all users, which I'm amazed, genuinely amazed, that this is something they're going to do. I really thought for sure they were going to charge at least $15, something. The fact that's free is a shock. I mean, it's good. The consumers truly deserve that because of the utter hell that people probably have gone through playing the game or trying to have a good time with the game. So that's good. I'm fine with that. That's good. Again, that's not going to save all the things they've done before, but this is just a I don't want people to look at this and being like, oh, all's forgiven. All is forgiven. No. Like, this is good in, like, its own little pocket. But when you open that pocket up, it's just so much wrong, so much deception, so much different things that have gone on. Can't forgive them that easily, but objectively, this is good. Fine with that. Thank God. They really, really needed to have it be free. So again, more WWT. Another couple of things to point out. It's kind of hard to see in the YouTube thing unless this thing isn't here. But in the bottom right of the screen, you can see the tires and fuel gauge. That's better. I like that. Could still be more in depth, but this is a start. Voice crack, because it's such a concept that they just didn't want to do because it's not realistic. We don't want to do things based on you don't want to make decisions based on numbers. That bullshit argument from their January video thing. But yeah, this is a start. Again, I mean, in theory, this is all good, but will it actually... The other massive problem is if you do long races, sometimes the AI just don't pit. Or they'll stay out. So their pit strategy is pretty much like narrow-minded in the sense of they will pit whenever they need to at the end of the run because their tire wear is set to like the 1 times wear. So whatever the fuel load is for a track, I don't know what it could be. Maybe for Pocono, for example, I remember back in the day, it's probably changed, but like it'll be around 35 laps. So the AI will probably stay out like the first stage, or maybe like the pitting logic is so broken. You can't even do stage rate. You can't even do, like, I think maybe the only way to get accurate racing is to do 100% races, but I don't know how many people always do 100% races. I could see a lot of people doing 25%, but I don't see, I mean, I think there might be, at least as far as I know, one person that does the 100% races on YouTube, but I don't know how many other do it in their spare, but that's like the only way for it to work, maybe decently, but that's still, like, you know, pretty egregious because, you know, what if someone wants to do 25%? I want to have, you know, my tired fuel stuff to be ×4 and the AIs be ×4 so everybody pits when they're supposed to. Like, I can play Heat Ultimate Edition on the Plus and do 25% rate to 4 times wear, and it's pretty good. AI logic's very solid. That shouldn't be a shock because the Heat games are pretty okay with that. Not perfect, but okay with it. But this, again, I don't think it's going to... I mean, this is good that it's there. But again, it's still pretty vague where it's just green and then maybe it'll turn yellow and then red. So still pretty basic, but it's something. I will fucking take it. I'm fine with that. Again, as you saw in the chase cam, no mirror. No mirror here. Even though they have it in the cockpit, and the mirror quality isn't even like that amazing to begin with. So why can't they do that? Does it just break the game? Like, is it just that impossible? I don't understand why in a racing game in 2022, like, that's something we have to, like, strive for and like make this into like a. It's just ridiculous. It's just again. Whatever. There's so much other things wrong with the game. That's almost that's like the least of its issues in like the grand scheme of things. Sadly, but again, we get more shots, more of the Gen 7 cars, and again, I'm not expecting the AI to be anything crazy. I'm really not expecting anything different. Experiencing historic 2022 regular season. I guess it is historic because the first season we've had multiple different winners, and I'll take that statement. So we get more cars around Gateway. This is another big thing too with the pit stops. I'm assuming this is all redone, potentially, especially with the single lug nut for these Gen 7 cars. So imagining all the pit sequences were reanimated, so that's a big deal. Again, in theory, this is all good, but when the pitting logic and everything's so broken, it's almost better to not even do pit stops or anything involved in the race. So while this is good, how often are you going to be able to see this or even utilize just the aspect of pitting in a race properly when the pitting logic is so broken that it'd be better not to use it. So this is like good in theory, but I don't think we're really, at least for me, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see any of this, because when I ever do cover this game with the expansion stuff, like, it's probably just like there's no fun to do a race when if I do like a 25% race and stage 1 goes okay, relatively speaking, and then they pit in the middle of stage 2, and then I'm just destroying the field because I like there's no fun in that. So you basically have to dumb yourself down and pit with the AI, and it's just, and then it gets annoying because like then you need like a Google Doc chart of like the track length combinations where it's like, okay, this race I could do 15%. Okay, this race I could do 25%. Okay, this one it's just absurd. Like I shouldn't have to get a pen and paper or get a chart to do all these combinations. That's absurd. This is so yeah. I don't know. Just like this is good, but I'm just thinking of like the logistics of how often are you going to see this and everything, with all the issues with the pitting. So more shots of the camera. And that's what I meant about the graphics not being amazing here. Like, it's still a little low res, which is fine. I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing, but it's like, if they can do that, like for this cockpit, then why can't they have that in the chase view? Literally just take that, and then, I don't know, maybe it just breaks the game, or it's not realistic. But then, how is it realistic that we, as the player, can see the tire and fuel gauge? Like, ooh. Like, race car drivers can't see that. Like, remember that logic that they're trying to throw? That it's not realistic to do that. But definitely backpedaled on that because everybody hated it. Because, oh my god, people want to see their fucking tire and fuel gauge in a console game that was supposed to be simcade. But then they changed the narrative and said that it was going to be, you know, hardcore arcade. And they were saying like how the car turns by itself on this road because of something in the car, and they can't, you know, in real life they have something to do with the balance that, but they couldn't do that in the game, so the car just veers to left, and basically they're just saying, you know, get used to it. It's realistic. It's essentially, that was basically it. So instead of like either implementing it to where, you know, you can go on a straightaway and the car just doesn't turn to left, you know, pretty severely, they just did nothing about it and then just blamed that, oh, that's realistic. But then they don't have the other element in the game to counter the steering, so it's stupid. So more shots. Again, we get another instance of tire fuel gauge and fifth gear stuff, so yeah. I saw the choose cone, but was probably their last game. But we got the new Atlanta, which literally just looks like the Ignition one, because the way they designed it basically looked like this. It just, the pavement's darker and the track looks a little different in terms of where the lines are, and like that's really it. But yeah, but that's there. Yeah. So just more shots around the track. Additional quality of life improvements. Again, vague terminology. This is back in the Heat days where they would say and enhancements, but they would mention stuff like this, but then don't list anything. So it could be. I mean, it could be the tire and fuel gauge, but this is worded vaguely where I don't know. It's just like marketing speak. It feels like to me. Nothing you can take from that shot. Again, more trains, more just yeah. So then we get the this here, and then October 6th, download for free. I mean, obviously that's all good in theory. I'm not expecting this game to become like a better overnight. I'm not expecting really much of anything other than I don't know, just maybe the car physics to be slightly different because the Gen 7 have a bit more horsepower, and maybe it'll be shitty on short tracks to simulate real life, and to be amazing on mile and a halves. I don't know, it's possible. But what good's the physics or like how the driving mile is going to be if the AI are atrocious? That doesn't like. I mean, this game's really only good if you're just racing by yourself around the track in practice mode, or going through the garage and marveling at how accurate everything is. Like that's not what I get a NASCAR game for, is to just race by myself with no cars on track and going around the garage area and act like being in the garage area is just like revolutionary. Like, I guess technically it is because we've never seen it before, but that's not like that's not. Yeah, this is better than Thunder 04 because you can go through the garage area. I don't know, but yeah. So let me get another tweet here. I have this up here. There's this one here. Answer more questions. 2022 NASCAR Heat 5 update will be a paid DLC that'll be available for $12.34. Not really a fan of the fact that they're charging for the Heat 5 one, but then not for this. But thinking with the marketing mindset, there are more people objectively that still play Heat 5, so they will get more of a profit for doing this with a paid DLC for $12.34 than they will for this. Like, it's almost like they're saying, well, this is like they're almost saying like this is a lost cause and might as well just have it be free because we damaged the faith in the community so hard with this game that the only option. I don't want this to seem like, oh, this is like, they wanted to do this in the good faith of the. There could be some truth to that, but I'm not shocked that they're going back to E5, where a game that functions on a basic level so much better, objectively, not even trying to put bias into it, but just it functions better. No wonder why people are playing Heat 5 more than Ignition. And it makes more sense from a business standpoint to probably charge that because you're going to get more of a revenue from that. So that's my assumption. I don't know why it's exactly $12.34 unless it's supposed to be cute. They're like, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't know. But then they're saying the updates to the Heat Mobile will come as free content and game users. So yeah, don't know why that. I mean, don't know why. I guess I get it, but I heard from Gary Owen that it's supposed to be like the 2022 cars aren't going to work for career mode, which is like, how do you fuck that up? Because the modders are able to do that for adding in the 2021 cars. Like, how can modders do something better than the actual game developers? So I don't know if that's even true, because the post that he made was deleted, so that might not even be true, but who knows? But yeah, that shouldn't be on the hands of just modders doing stuff like that. That should not. That just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I don't know. It's not clear on when this is going to come out with the Heat 5 stuff, so I don't know when that's going to occur. But that's kind of my takeaway with this. I kind of rambled on a lot, but there is a couple of different things to discuss, and yeah, I'm not really expecting really much of anything significant. Like, I can't imagine this game's going to change anything, because I don't know. I'm still expecting the AI to be atrocious, but I don't know. We'll see. So again, the roadmap's wrong because they were saying September and it's October 6th, so that's funny. But yeah, and then after this, about 8 days later, then the Switch comes out for NASCAR Rivals, which I really didn't talk about much about because there's not a whole lot to say other than it literally looks like Heat 5 with a tiny bit better graphics on the Switch, and there is a mirror, So that automatically makes it better than Ignition based on that. It's probably gonna be way better than Ignition anyways because they're still using the Heat 5 like AI stuff, and it's literally just that with just the Gen 7 cars and the extra gear, and the practice and time overlays are slightly different, but it's like 98% the same game. Even down to the way the AI kind of race and how you approach the track, the way the car unloads off the corner, the way when you make contact with someone, they slap the track. Like, it's so much like it. It's kind of, it's like, yeah, it's just not a whole lot to say on that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I don't know. We'll see what everybody else thinks. So let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, that'll do it for me. I'll see you. So bye bye. This is all like unedited, so this is weird. But I'm just gonna stop recording. So bye.